Hey, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to Life Mastery Decoded, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality with mind mastery, emotional management, and meditation. Welcome to today's podcast. Hey, ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I am finding you living your best YIN day. Today's a YIN day. What in the world is YIN? You've heard of yin and yang, right? Well, if you are not living your YIN day, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. I know I threw some of you off with my new beginning, but yin and yang, it is all about the flow of energy. It's also about duality, the things that are opposite. You can't have sadness without happiness. You can't have dark without light. You can't have up without down. But with yin energy, you can't receive without giving. You can't give without receiving. I have to receive good things to fill my bucket so I can give to the people I love. Today is a yin day. I've been listening to my friend, another podcaster who lives in Australia, and I'm religiously listening to her podcast, and she religiously talks about yin and yang. And today I took the day off of work, and I decided today is going to be a yin day. So what does that consist of? Now, how do I plan a yin day? Well, for one, I need to make sure that my energy is sustained, my own vibrational frequency. And I'm going to get into this a little bit more in detail over the next couple of podcasts because I took in some really valuable knowledge and am coming even more full circle. I come full circle with some knowledge, and then all of a sudden there's another circle that's formed. It happens all the time with learning and being a lifetime student. So how do I plan a yin day? I want to make sure that my energy frequency is such that my yin day is all about filling my bucket. Am I going to spend the day at the spa? No. Could you spend the day at the spa? Sure, if that's your thing. So what did I do? I was lying in bed. Amy was leaving early this morning, and I was going to get up earlier than normal to get Brandon on the bus and then to drive Cameron to school. And so as I'm thinking, lying in my bed, I immediately did an energy assessment, a vibrational scale, a scale of where my vibration, my frequency lies right now. And on this vibrational scale, I said, well, I was probably a 5 because I'm cozy in bed. I don't want to get up. It's not quite as dark as it could have been, I'm sure, but I was certainly wanting to sleep a little bit longer. So my scale was probably a 5. So I laid in bed. I had 10 more minutes before Brandon's alarm was going to go off and I was going to have to get up and to help him to get ready for school. And so immediately I asked myself, what can I do to go from a 5 to a 6? Well, what I did do was actually roll over and set the alarm for 10 more minutes. So that immediately made my numbers go up because I had that choice. So that was kind of fun. That was pretty easy. Now I'm a 7. The alarm goes off 10 minutes later. And now I'm ooh, I have this good idea. I have our house, the vision of the house that I want us to move into in my mind. But I'm not able to really describe it to Amy. She sort of can see it, but she can't really see it until I show it to her after it gets out of my head and onto a piece of paper. So I decided today I'm going to create our house by finding images that are what I have in my head about our house. And I was going to put it on a big giant poster board, and basically she would have the complete layout of our house. I'm so here's the living room, and here's the kitchen, and here's what our backyard looks like. Okay. So that really made me excited. I popped out of bed like nobody's business. But what did I do? I assessed my energy first. I figured out what my number was. And then I decided that I'm going to do something different. I'm going to think something different. I decided. And then the something different raised my vibration. Now, the whole point to this is this helps to create a yin week. If I am pissy, it is going to be really, really difficult for me to find those things that are going to raise my vibration. Typically, pissiness or frustration or overwhelm, or depression, some of those emotions that are really, really challenging for us to feel and to move through. They feel like moving, through quicksand that's up to your neck. And when you are trying to move through these emotions, we need to put our bodies in motion. Remember, emotion is energy in motion. So now I can force my body to get going. If I lie down right now, it's 10 o'clock in the morning as I'm recording this on a Tuesday. If I lie down on the couch right now, what is my body going to do? It's going to start to relax. It's going to start to say, hey, are we taking a nap? Because it'll start to slow down. Sorry, I just got a hiccup. I don't know, what is it about my podcast and hiccups? That's like the third time that's happened. And my energy is going to slow down. So if you are suffering from depression, it is everything in me to advise you, open the curtains in your house and get outside. Let the light come in. Let the expansion in. When we're letting the light in, we are expanding our environment, which expands our energy. When we are happy, our energy is automatically expanded. So take your physical body and get outside. Get outside. And I don't care if you have to walk, crawl, or push yourself through the door, whatever you got to do, if you want to feel better, because it's your thoughts that brought you down in the first place. Okay, so let me back up a little bit. Yin and yang energy that comes in. Yang is everything that goes out. It is the giving and receiving. The tide comes in and goes out. Waves come in and go out. The moon changes phases. The sun comes up and sets, and the moon rises and sets. And then the sun comes up again. The fall changes in the leaves. The rain comes in. The flowers grow. The sun comes out. It's all about balance. And if we are not living from this place of balance, we are imbalanced. Brilliant. We're imbalanced. So I want you to stand back far enough in your life, look at your life and say, am I balanced? Am I really balanced? This is only a question that you can answer. And I'm not going to stand there and look at you to see if you're telling yourself the truth. This is all about you. This is all about you expanding you. Are you dealing with difficult emotions? Yes or yes. We always are. Do you know where those difficult emotions come from? They come from our thinking. Our mind is a survival program. We are programmed with our mind, to survive the planet. So our mind is always in survival mode. And if our mind is always in survival mode, what is it always looking for? It's looking for predators. It's looking for villains. It's looking for poison. It's looking for wild animals. It's looking for anything that can harm us. So it's always negative. It's always searching. It's always on alert. It's always looking for things. Go, hey, what was that noise? Hey, who's that person? Hey, you shouldn't go outside. Hey, you shouldn't do anything that's out of the norm. You should stay here and be safe. That's your constant program that's running in the background. But it's a program. And if you know anything about programs, they can change. But they need a programmer. The other part of you, the programmer, is the real you. It is the one that is that sleepy part of you that says, hey, I want to make more money. Hey, I want to leave this toxic relationship. Hey, I want to go get a new career. Hey, I want to lose weight. Hey, I want to run a triathlon. Hey, I want to travel more. It's that part that is the real you. That, my friend, is the programmer. So that programmer, that real you, that real part of you, can program the mind part of you that is always thinking negative. Oh, woe is me, I lost my job. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. See, you shouldn't have complained that much. Now what are you going to do? You're never going to find another job. That's your mind. That's your mind talking to you. When the real you is trying to surface and trying to get excited, going, it's okay. There's another job that's better than that one, that pays more, that has a better schedule. Hey, it's okay. We just got to course correct. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. Your mind tells you all the things that are wrong, Your thinking, that's the mind, tells you all the things that are wrong, which create this emotional response. So the mind says, get up, get running. There's a saber-toothed tiger in the tree. But we don't really need that as much as it is showing up in our lives. Not everything around us is dangerous. But hundreds of millions of years ago, it was. And we needed to be protected from things in the woods that were hunting us. But that's not so much anymore. But we still live in that survival mode. So what do? How do we get out of this survival mode? Well, one of the things you can do is become aware of it. You can't solve a problem that you're not aware of. But if you are suffering with any negative emotions that are constantly surfacing in your life, anger, frustration, overwhelm, worry, doubt, concern, any of those things that are constantly running in the background, this is your screensaver that is always saying, watch out, look out, you're not good enough, don't do that, don't do this, okay? If you are running that program, first understand that that's not you. That part of you that says, don't do that, or you can't do that, or you'll never do that, or look out, or watch out, that's your mind. So being aware of that. The next is being aware of the bigger part of you. When you begin a meditation process or practice, and you are sitting with yourself and you quiet that chatter of that part of your mind that is always telling you you can't do something, or is always negative, is always chirping in your ear something ridiculous that you have to pay attention to, or that you do pay attention to. But when that quiets down, the other part of you surfaces. That's the bigger part of you. That's the true you. That's the you that is seeking expansion. That's the spiritual soul version of you that is on this planet seeking to expand, looking for change, constantly pushing the boundaries. And the mind part of you is going, wait, we don't want to push the boundaries. I've talked about before the subconscious mind versus the conscious mind. And when it's pushing the boundaries, we have to sneak up on it. So that is what yin energy and yin days can do. So what in the world am I talking about? Jen, okay, you mentioned all this negative self-talk, and then you mentioned this real version of me, and you mentioned these expansion, and let's get back to spa day. So yin day, yin hour, yin 5 minutes, whatever you have that you can put in your schedule, I'm going to not only highly advise it, I'm practically going to require that you do it. If you are a woman on this planet and you have people that you love, that you are constantly emptying your bucket for, it is a requirement to become a woman warrior on this planet that is leading and creating a life that you want to live. Getting the house, getting the significant other, getting the career, making the money, getting the travel, getting the freedom, the health, whatever it is you want. And if you don't dream, that is your mind stopping you from dreaming. If you don't dream, if I can't ask you hey, what is your goal about your health? And you go, I don't know. Hey, what's your goal about your money? And you go, I don't know. That is your mind is stopping you and preventing you. Okay, sorry, back to spa day. So think of an airplane. I'm going to fly from Traverse City to Miami. And that pilot gets in the plane and sets the coordinates to the Miami airport. And he's got 153 passengers on this plane. His job is to get us to Miami safely. He puts in the coordinates. He's up in the air, 10, 20,000 feet. And there's some wind. Maybe there's some rain. Maybe there's some air pockets, some clouds, some whatever that creates turbulence, that creates weather. His job is to continue to course correct, to constantly be looking and not looking, but we're looking at the gauges and going, okay, we're 6 degrees to the west. Okay, now we need to correct. We're 10 degrees to the east. We need to correct. We're up too high. We're up too low. We're down too low, whatever. And so whatever he has to do, but he's constantly course correcting. Constantly course correcting. This is now the name of the game, course correction. As we are moving along in our life, I'm going to ask you and challenge you and invite you to course correct your energy vibration right now for the rest of your life. Every single day, all day long for the rest of your life. What in the world is course correction? What in the world is this energy vibration that she's talking about? Everything has a frequency. If I ask you right now on a number from 1 to 10, what is your number? Let's say it's a 5. Anything below a 5 is a non-creative vibration. Anything above an 8. Now this is a very simple form. Simple form. I've been studying this for years. This kind of energy is so amazing to work with, but simple form, 1 to 10, anything below an 8 is a non-creative energy. Those are your lower frequency emotions. So it's overwhelm, chaos, depression, anxiety, anger, frustration, right? Despair, helplessness, loneliness, worry, concern, your lower vibration. That's you kinking the hose. So right now, take out a sheet of paper or maybe just put it in your mind. What is your number? Okay. If it's less than an 8, then we have a little bit of work to do. If it is negative something, you have a lot of work to do. But I will tell you this, when you work at the energy level, shit can change so quickly, your head will spin. But this has to be done every single day. You have to have this awareness. So yin energy is receiving. So right now, as I'm thinking of spa day, as I'm bringing energy in, I want to bring in high vibrational energy into my system, into my awareness. I can't solve a problem that I created as a 3 if I'm a 3. I created the problem as a 3. I need to raise my vibration to be able to solve the problem. We've talked about this. Einstein says you can't solve the problem with the same mind that created it. So we have to change. This is where introspection comes in. This is where meditation and visualization techniques come in. This is where the sense of control that I have over my frequency comes in. This is why it's so important to set a time to literally work on yin energy. I'm going to do this every single day, starting right now. I'm making a commitment to you, all of my listeners, all of my clients, all of my friends, all of my family, whoever is listening across 35 countries. I am making a commitment to you that I'm going to do this every single day for the rest of my life, starting today. Now, I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm making a big commitment here. And hopefully I will live to be a very old lady. But I have goals. So I have a yin day today because I'm working on my energy. So now, instead of throughout the day of sporadically checking in to see what my vibration is, I am literally getting in a vibrational frequency on purpose, with purpose, and continuing to raise my frequency throughout the day. I am doing things in my life that bring that vibration up, all the way. My goal is to get to a 10 and stay at 10 throughout the day, no matter what happens. That's my goal. So let me walk you through the process. This is what this looks like. And I am going to post this infographic in our Lady Rising group in the guides section. And I will label it your daily check-in. Okay? So you can go and get this infographic that I'm about to describe to you. It's a very simple infographic. And what I did was I printed different sizes, three different sizes that Amy and I will use throughout our routine. She'll take one to work. I'll put one in the car. We have one hanging in the bathroom. We're going to hang one in the kitchen because it's going to constantly be in our face to remind us to check in. It's a very simple process. Let me tell you about it. When we are aware of our energy, we have to understand that our energy comes from within, not from without. Our energy, we are the conductor of our energy. We are the creator of our lives. We are the creators of our lives. So the first thing you have to think about is the course correction of that plane. If he puts in the coordinates and gets the plane up to 20,000 feet and then decides to go lay down on one of the seats back there in first class and not run the plane and not course correct, most likely we're going to end up in Africa or somewhere in the ocean or some stranded island someplace. We're not going to end up in Miami. If you start a meditation practice with the intention of increasing your health or improving your relationships or making more money or doing better business, but you don't course correct, you're never going to get there. You're going to get somewhere you don't intend. So here's how this goes. The first thing is check-in. I'm going to do a check-in. That's it. I'm going to do my check-in. It could take you 5 minutes to do this. You go inward, feel how you feel, assess what your energy level is at. And I don't mean energy like my high energy right now as I'm recording this podcast. I just mean like, where's your vibration? Are you low in the dumps? Are you really high? Are you happy, excited, sad, pissed off, angry, frustrated, annoyed? Where are you on the vibrational scale? If you're an 8.5, perfect. Keep going. Keep doing that. And keep checking in. Every segment of your day in the beginning, check in. Just look in the mirror, set a timer, look at the phone, say, okay, just breathe for 10 seconds, check in. Ooh, gosh, I'm a 2 after that conversation with my coworker. Okay? Then the next step is ask. This is being curious. What do I have to do to raise that number 1 notch? What do I have to do to raise that number 1 notch? Do I go from a 2 to a 27? No. Go from a 2 to a 3. Just feel a little bit better. Just go from angry to frustrated, to annoyed, to overwhelmed, to something that's a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better, until you're at a higher vibrational state. This could take you 15 seconds. This could take you an hour and a half. But I will tell you this, whatever amount of time it takes you, let me ask you, is it worth it to go from depression to joy if it takes you an hour and a half? Hell yes. Hell yes. Because you just did 2 things. 1, you indirectly controlled your emotions through your thought. And 2, you empowered the hell out of yourself. Because so much, when I get into this kind of angry state, and I'm mad about the thing or the that or business or whatever, and I'm sitting around and I'm complaining and I'm pissing and moaning, there is no way for me to solve the problem. But I'm blaming everything outside of me. So I go, you know what? Stop it. Assess your numbers right now in this moment. Oh man, I'm a negative 14. Okay, what do you got to do to be a negative 13? What do you got to do to come up to 0? Well, I need to stop talking about this and I need to go for a walk. Okay, great. Go do that. That's the next step. Think about the thing that you can do. Visualize the thing. Let's say you can't go anywhere. Let's say you're at work. Let's say you're at work, your boss just came down acting like a ding dong, gave you a bunch of crap, complained about something, did maybe his normal stuff that kind of irritated you. And you went from an 8 because you were in the car and it was freedom and it was lovely and you're listening to my podcast on the way and you feel amazing. And then you get to work and he does that and it drops you from an 8 to a 2. And now you can't really leave until lunchtime and that's 4 hours from now. So now you have the power of another faculty to help you, to help engage your senses, to increase your numbers. The bottom line is increasing your numbers. That's it. Increase your number. And who can assess it? Only you. Only you can. So now you visualize. So Amy has a stress fracture in the top of her right foot. And she's been walking on this stress fracture for several months and still trying to figure out what is wrong with her foot. Well, the MRI came back and she has a stress fracture. And she's wearing a big boot. She's wearing the big walking boot. And she needs to really relax. And in 3 weeks, we are going to Florida. And she's at work and I was creating this infographic and I sent her a quick text and I said, hey, what's your number right now? And she said 7. And I said, remember, anything that's below an 8, we need to work on. I said, what would it take for you to get up to an 8? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm at work and, I can't really go anywhere. I can't do anything. And I said, okay. I said, but you have the ability to visualize. And she goes, yeah, you're right. And I said, okay, so how about you visualize us walking around in Florida without pain? And she's like, just the thought of that moved me to an 8. Just the thought of it. And I said, keep doing that. Because she was kind of annoyed, the boot, as you start to wear it, it kind of rubs in parts of like your calf or your shin or something. And it kind of irritates you. And so she was kind of irritated about it. But just thinking about something, changing your thinking immediately. This was via text. immediately moved her numbers from a 7 to an 8. So assess where you are right now. Look at the number that you're looking at. What's your number that you just wrote down a couple minutes ago? If it's less than an 8, what is it? Okay? Look at that number. Now ask yourself, what do I have to do to raise that number by 1? Think about something different. Think about something different. Think about travel. Think about money. Think about your new car. Think about playing with your dogs or your cat or your bird. Think about going outside. Think about doing something different. Swimming. Think about walking, hiking, kayaking. Think about dancing. Think about getting a new tattoo or a new piercing. Think about whatever that brings you up a notch. And as you do that, give yourself gratitude, a pat on the back, a huge giant hug, because you just created a new reality. You just created a new emotion. You just moved up the frequency. You took control. So you mastering your thoughts changes your emotional state, which puts you in a new creative vibration, and also empowered the hell out of you. You're now empowered. You just did it. Because remember, even an emotion is a creation. I used my mind. I redirected my thoughts. I created a new emotion. Now, if you can go do something, then that is the next step. You can visualize something or you can go do something. But I am going to require, and I'm using that term loosely, but I am using it, require, you to set your body in motion. Okay? That's great. You got your energy going. Perfect. Beautiful. Lovely. You did it. Now create the body that goes with that emotion. Create the body. If you were really sad right now, what would your body look like? Would you be upright? Would your shoulders be back? Or would they be like humped over, or what's that word? Slouched. Would your head be up or down? Would your voice be loud or quiet? Would your breathing be deep or shallow? If you were sad. So now you change your thought, you think of something happy, you feel better, look at your body change. So you're now sitting erect, your shoulders are back, your head is up, your eyes are up, your breathing is deep, your emotion is higher, your energy is higher. You might even be standing, expanded. Do that. Hold that position. Hold that position because it solidifies, and I'm using that word appropriately and on purpose, solidifies the new thought that you just put in. Because I can think a thought, I can visualize my new house, I can feel amazing in my new house, and it creates the emotion of amazing. I can open my eyes, be in the house that I'm in, and get mad immediately, 3 seconds later. But what I need to do is change my physicality, my body, the physical, the entire manifestation of that thought process. So stand up. If you're going from depression, which could be at a 0, and you're going to go to a 1, and you're going to move through the emotions. And as I get to a 4, fix your body and now hold your body in that position. If you are not a confident person, hold your body in a confident position. Now, what the hell does this have to do with Yin Day? Yin Day is a whole bunch of these techniques back to back to back to back to fill my bucket on purpose, with purpose, so I can give back to my family, so I can be in a better mood, so I can be in a creative state, so I can just generally feel better. I'm going to make better decisions in my relationships, my business, my money, my parenting from this position than I would if I stayed at a 5. Here's a couple more things to add to this, and I will put this file in the guides section in Lady Rising. If you're not a part of our Lady Rising group, go to Facebook, type in Lady Rising, come and find us, and in the membership question, say, hey, I listened to Jen's podcast, okay? And come on in. Go to the guide section, which is a tab that is under our big photo, our big cover photo. There's a guide section. Those are a whole bunch of files in there. Actually, I don't know that there are a bunch of files in there. There's some files in there. But this one will be in there, and I'm going to title it Your Daily Check-In. And now you have the picture that I have in my hand as I'm recording this for your own personal use to go and print and to go and use to keep this in front of you. You are driving the plane, sister. You are driving the plane. You are a pilot. You are a pilot of your plane. And if you want to go somewhere, you have to course correct. And this is a wonderful, beautiful way to do it. And it's simple, yet extremely powerful because we just walked through it. We just did it. Here's a couple more things. Some of the things that you can add to these daily techniques, because everybody's different. Not everybody can visualize as fast as I can, or as fast as maybe someone else can. Maybe someone needs to hear something. Try affirmations. Get yourself up to a really, really high vibration, an 8, 9, or 10, preferably a 10. Get all the way up to a high vibration and now write some powerful affirmations that will help to encourage you when you are in a lower vibrational frequency. And if you need a reference as far as some affirmations and some ideas, I will point you to another podcast where I talk about what to say when you talk to yourself. And it is really a nice version of using affirmations and creating words and using sentences that will definitely help you when you're trying to create some affirmations on your own. It's just another way to listen to, sorry, I'm completely distracted trying to find this. Listen to, or an auditory way to increase your vibration is using affirmations. And that podcast is season 3, episode 11, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. There's another one. Here's another couple of them. How to Raise Your Own Numbers to a 10. This is season 4, episode 10. And then season 4, episode 7 is How to Speak Your Desires into Existence. So all of these are going to help. Another thing you can do is meditate. This automatically just stopping what you're doing, going inward, focusing on your breathing, focusing on your affirmation or your mantra, this will automatically raise your numbers. I always recommend mala beads if you are brand new to meditation or brand new practicer. I think that you are going to absolutely love the power of mala beads. And you can visit our store, themeditationroomtc.com. Visit our store, go to search, type in mala beads, and we have tons and tons and tons of different kinds. And there's a video on Chakras for Beginners on how to use your mala beads so you can understand what the flap I am talking about. Another thing is, well, we already talked about it, is visualizations. There are tons of resources out there. One of my favorite books about visualizations is called Creative Visualizations. And the author is Shakti Gawain, Creative Visualization, a really, really good book. Lots of practice techniques inside that book. Really, really powerful stuff. I also did a podcast titled The Art of Visualization. This is season 1, episode 31, The Art of Visualization. So now you have your homework. Now you have some techniques. Now you have some tools to use that are so powerful. So I hope that I will see you in the Lady Rising group. Come on over there in the message questions. Type in there that you came to the group via my podcast, and download the file so you can see what I'm talking about. And I would love to have you share your experience with us in the group as you are building your practice and you're listening to different techniques, you're listening and getting some guidance from my podcast. I would love to know, and I would love to continue to be able to support you in this endeavor as you are moving forward and starting to become empowered by working your own energy. So, hey, take some time, put it on the clock, put it on the day, the week, whatever, for your yin day, your yin week, or your yin 5, and enjoy your spa day. If you like this episode, please share this with 3 of your friends. And if you like this episode and look forward to future episodes, please consider making a small monthly donation to help support this podcast. If you're looking for a community to join and have more access to me, then consider joining one of my communities. Chakras for Beginners is an energy-based community that is highly active and growing every day. Lady Rising is a sistership community where the focus is on spiritual support and empowerment. We hold monthly calls and talk about topics just as like today's episode. We also have an online store where we can meet your meditation and chakra needs with products for your journey. You can visit us at www.themeditationroomtc.com. Thank you for joining me and being a valued listener.